Hello everyone, welcome to Educational Channel and this is Srinand. So today we are going to start off with a new topic, socialism, okay? Now we have communism, we have capitalism, and now there's a new topic called socialism. Okay, now first we will go with the basic definition of socialism, okay? Basic definition first. Now what socialism says is that from each according to his ability, to each according to his contribution. Okay, let's compare this definition between capitalism and communism and then let's check which is better after doing some research, okay? Now, compare it to communism. In communism, you get things according to your need. You get money according to your need and not your work, okay? According to your need. That means you don't get enough motivation to work, you don't get motivated to work more, and your economy doesn't develop a lot, okay? Not your economy, it's the nation's economy, okay? It doesn't develop a lot because there is no motivation for workers, there is no increment, there's nothing, okay? Now, if you compare this definition to capitalism, okay, the definition seems kind of unfair, okay? It seems unfair. Because the more capital you have, the more money you make. Money begets money and poverty begets poverty. So this is unfair in capitalism. So socialism, if you think about this definition, you can't find anything wrong, right? There's nothing wrong in this definition. It's perfect. The more work you do, the harder you work, the more money you get. Okay, you get more profits. So it's rewards based on contribution. Okay, now if you think about this ideology, it is like similar to communism in a first glance. Okay, it's similar to communism and you might think that this is okay, this is like a very close idea to communism, but it's a disguised idea, but actually it's not. Okay, you might think that it is against rich people, but it's not. Socialists, okay, people who follow socialism, the ideology of socialism, they practice non-violence usually, okay, mostly. And what is their main aim? What is the main aim of socialists is that they want to educate rich people with moral values, okay, with moral values. Why moral values? Because this concept dates back to the Industrial Revolution in the 1900s. From 1850s to 1900s, okay, that was the Industrial Revolution. And crony capitalists, people who have a lot of money and they are brutal, okay, crony capitalists. They had their own factories and the workers were treated brutally, really bad, okay. So because of that, because of this treatment, there came a new idea called communism, right? We know about that. Now, so what socialism says is that you treat your workers well, you give them a share of the profit, and they will remain happy also. Okay, that's a moral value, right? Whatever I told now, that's a moral value. And this gives happiness to the workers, to the environment, and the owner, he gets self-satisfied, okay? Because that gives a kind of self-satisfaction when you help someone, right? So that is a moral value according to socialists. Now if you think about it, who was the first Indian socialist? That is Swami Vivekananda, okay? So that is an interesting fact, right? Swami Vivekananda. And there is another extreme socialist, father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, he had another ideology that is called trusteeship socialism, trusteeship principle. Okay, what this principle says is that there's a very rich person, okay, there is a very rich person and he has a lot of money. All right, he has a lot of money, and what Gandhiji says is that he has enough money for his survival. And the remaining surplus money, okay, the extra money that he has is, has to be donated or has to be used for public welfare or social welfare. That is the definition of socialism, right? The word socialism comes for society, okay? for the needs of society, for the development of society. And he calls the rich person as the trustee to that surplus wealth. Okay? Trustee to the surplus wealth. So that's how extreme he was. And he even told that even if I make a single rupee more than what is required for my survival, then that would be considered theft. Okay? That would be considered theft. That's how extreme he was. Okay? Now, Karl Marx and Bhagat Singh, two extremists, not extremists, but they were really good freedom fighters and philosophers, right? Now, they were called revolutionary socialists. What does this mean? Revolutionary. They fight for a cause. What is the cause? Justice. Justice to the people. Alright. Now, if you think about socialism a little bit deeper, it is like an intermediate stage between communism and capitalism, right? Like it's an intermediate stage here. Because, there are people who want to convert, or not, it's not literally converting, it's like converting the economy into a communist one from a capitalist one, or vice versa. Okay? Now it's not that easy because these two are the extremes, okay? Because communism and capitalism are like two ends of a magnet, opposite sides, okay? So they are different, they are completely opposite, and you need something to cross those two, all right? You have to be in an intermediate position, and that is socialism. Okay, are there any real life examples of socialism? Yes, there is a really big company. Can you guess what it is? Amul, Anand Milk Union Limited. Amul. Amul butter, Amul cheese, Amul. Do you know how many workers are there? There are no workers in the factory. There are no workers in the company. There are 36 lakh owners, and those owners are dairy farmers. This is an example of cooperative socialism. You know what is a cooperative, right? Examples are Cooptex also, cooperative textiles. Alright. Now that is another example. And profit is shared in cooperative socialism. That is already there because all these 36 lakh farmers are owners. Okay. Now there is a very high scope of a decentralized economy in socialist governments. Okay. Actually, what do I mean by socialist governments? If you think about an idea called utopian socialism, it's nearly impossible, or it's like an imaginary socialism, imaginary form, where everyone accepts the government's decision and works for the welfare. But in reality, humans are selfish, right? Yeah. Now, decentralized economy, we have already discussed about that in the capitalist video, in the previous capitalist video. If you have not checked out, please check it out, okay? And capitalism, in the term capitalism, you have a very small number of large enterprises, okay? Small number of large enterprises. That means there is a possibility, a very high probability of monopolies, right? Like we have discussed in the last videos. Monopolies. In socialism, we have a large number of small enterprises. So you cannot easily acquire or get acquired by anyone. Okay? So that is another important merit, a merit of socialism. Okay, thank you. Make sure you like and subscribe and watch my other videos.